Hello team, we're going to take a look at what is due during week 2. We are in the course content folder under Unit B Excel Module 1, and I'm going to be stepping you through the activities in this folder. All of your activities are going to be via your Cengage book. So when you click on a link that has those icons on the left hand side, that little symbol here represents that it's a Cengage model. The first one is just the textbook. And so you are responsible for looking through these different activities and where you're at in the textbook. Some of these activities are not really meant for you to be just reading it. For example, this is part of your activity that you're going to do where it says type Frangold real estate budget, etc. And so I'm going to be talking you through that. When this screen opened up, I had already started looking at this, so there was some of the material that I had already read through. This, for example, is a good page for you to review if you are not familiar with Excel. And so part of this is reading, part of it is doing activities, and we will cover a little bit more how to do that in class. So when you go to the Excel Module 1 SAM training, if you noticed, it said it was worth 25 points. This is going to bring us to a Cengage activity, and it's a training module. So a lot of the how to do things is going to be within this environment. So you're going to want to do the training module first. I've already checked my system, but if you haven't gotten your system checked, you could do that. I'm going to click on Start, and this is going to tell me that I have one of 39 tasks to do. And so, for example, the first task is to center the contents of cell C3 horizontally. So here's cell C3. I need to center it horizontally, and I've done with that task. And then it tells me I'm on task 2, etc. There are 39 little activities. Now here's the deal. I am in apply mode, and so if you're not sure what to do, you can look at the observe mode, and that's going to give you a little video. Or you can look at the practice mode where you can practice it before you apply. Apply mode is what you're going to do in order to get your 25 points. And if you take a look, it shows me now that I've completed the first task. And so as you go through them, if you come back to it later and you're not sure where you left off, you can go to whatever task that you need to do. And this tells you exactly what each task is going to be. You must do this in the Cengage environment. I'm going to exit out of this for right now in order to get credit. When you when you're all done, you will want to click Submit. So I guess if I click Start, just to show you, when I'm done with all 39 activities, you'll click Submit, and that's how you're going to get your grade. It will automatically transfer over to Blackboard, okay? Then you have a textbook project. And so we are going to cover how to do this in class. So if you happen to miss class, please watch this video. And we are going to look at the common mistakes. But then you click on this textbook project, and it brings you into this Cengage environment. If you are still waiting on getting some access to your book, you can use the free access. Now, make sure you start with the file provided to receive credit for the assignment. Don't follow the textbook instructions. So when you click Start, it's going to ask you to download an Excel sheet. If you notice, it's named specifically what it needs to be named, and then you will open up this Excel sheet. When you open that Excel sheet, it's going to be the document that you are going to be working off of. And when I go back to, remember the very beginning, I opened up the textbook, and or if I click in here and I type on instructions, the instructions are going to load your textbook. And so right here where it starts to say you're going to do this real estate budget worksheet, that's what you're going to create. This is what it should look like when you're done. And then I start to follow the textbook instructions. I need to click Next. I've already read all that, so as I'm clicking through here, I had previously read that. So right here it says Start Excel and create a blank workbook. Don't do that. You need to start with the file that we downloaded, okay? And then we keep going. So that's showing you how to start a blank one, but we don't want to do that. We are going to start here, and it tells us a little bit about the difference between a worksheet and a workbook. scroll bars. It covers all the different things in Excel. If you're not familiar with Excel, you need to look through that. And if I keep going, I'm trying to get to the very first page that gives us some instructions. This is all instructions in terms of like a textbook reading, but now we're getting close to the instructions for this activity. So right here, type Fran Gold real estate budget in cell A1. So this is where you are actually starting the exercise. So it takes a little while to get there and to understand like, oh, that's what I'm supposed to do. So I just wanted to show this to you. So then I would go back to this worksheet and I would type in Fran Gold. I have to enable editing first. And I would type in Fran Gold, whatever, estate, I don't remember what it was, budget. I'm kind of guessing because I don't remember. I have to go back. Fran, so I have it wrong. It will be checked wrong, so I'll have to fix that. Fran Gold real estate budget. But you kind of get the idea that you're going to follow the instructions here and go to the worksheet. Now, pay attention to these questions and answers. Okay, so you know, if you this is how you're doing your learning, and so if you know the answer to that, fine. If not, take a peek at the answer. So your learning here is interactive. Okay. And so then next in cell A2, type monthly estimates. So say cell A2 is monthly estimates. I'm going to warn you to not go above and beyond right now and go fancy and try to do different fonts and all that kind of stuff because it's going to have you make some changes later. Okay, I'm trying to get the correct thing in here. All right, so as you keep going through these instructions, so that was, and it says click the enter button, but then it also tells you there are alternative ways to get to the next cell. So also pay attention to this other ways part down here at the bottom, because it's going to give you additional hints. Now click next, and you're on to the next thing. There's a little bit of learning, a little bit of reading. Go to the next page, and now it has you go to cell A3 and continue. Word of caution, especially if you're used to using Google Documents. This will not save automatically. You need to use the Save button up here, or you need to do File Save or File Save As. We will also talk about in class where you need to save your documents. That's the second activity that you will do this week. The third one is a project. So I'm going to scroll all the way down. Here is what we're going to go over in class. So read through this if you were not there in class. You can watch the video on how to do this. But the project is going to be very similar to what we just opened up in terms of the exercise. So you have textbook exercises and you have textbook projects. Okay. So we get to the screen. If you haven't checked your system, do a check here. Okay, that was not good. I'm going to go back because my system's working. Usually it'll show a bunch of green arrows that shows that everything is okay. Now on this one, you probably want to download all. And I'm going to show in folder. Whoops, it says multiple files allow. So I got multiple files. I'm going to show this in the folder. And so it's saved this. And so it's this SC exercise 19 and then instructions for that. So I would open up the instructions. And then I would also open up the Excel document. You are going to have to pay attention to where you save these things. And so once you get started on this one, I'm going to click Enable Editing on both, okay? Because you're going to be working with this. Don't change this front page. You're going to be working on the second sheet. This whole thing is a workbook. You're going to be working on this second sheet, and you're going to be making changes in here. So for example, the first instruction after you've downloaded it and save it as first name _2. So first of all, we have to change the name. Otherwise, it won't properly register when I upload it. So I'm going to do a save as. And right now, I'm just by default putting it in my downloads, which is not the place that you should save it. I will go over in class where you should save it. You need to rename that as document 2, blah, blah, blah. Now I can go back and I start. So it tells me what I'm supposed to do here, read through this, and so go to the budget summary worksheet. Cut the worksheet title from cell I1 and paste it into cell A1. So when I go back to that worksheet, They want me to do a cut, which is Control X, and paste it in A1, which is Control V, or I'm going to undo that. You can right click, cut, right click, paste, paste, paste. Okay, so that's the very first step in that exercise. This is the document that you're going to upload when you get done. Now, one thing that I have done when I did this was I came back to it and I thought, oh shoot, I don't remember where I was. So I highlight the first word in each step once I get it done. So I got that step done. I highlighted the first word. So if I have to quit this and come back to it, then I know right where I left off. All right. Video's getting a little bit long, but that's okay. This is a lot of details. And so if we go back, the last thing that you're going to do is when you save your work to SAM, you can save your work here. So I can click to browse files. My file was in the downloads, and this was, I had to rename it. Well, let me show you what happens if you upload the wrong one. So I'm going to hit open. It says wrong name, change the 1 to a 2, and then reload. So I try it again. I choose the one with the 2 and I open it, and then it's here. Actually, it's right here. So it actually saved your work, all right, but it has not submitted it for grading. So you can actually come back and use this as a storage place. So you can save your work and then download it from here and continue working. And then you will submit for a grade when it's time to submit for a grade. We will talk a little bit more about that in class. So the 3 activities that you need to do this week are your training, your textbook project exercise, and then your SAM project. SAM project A, and then SAM textbook project. So one's a textbook project, which I'm calling a textbook exercise. The other one is a project, which is just called project. So a little bit long video, but you can scroll forward or backward to see what you need. And especially in class, we're going to talk about how to save your files and stuff. I might make a video on that as needed a little bit later. Thank you. Bye-bye.